So let's find out about your background in retail, Timothy. Where did it all begin? When were you first roped into it?
Well, I've only recently moved into retail, so it's been in the last
Yeah,
the last 12 months or so. No, so what do you want to know?
12 months.
That was a
Yeah,
lie, obviously.
I think you need to say how long it really has
I
been.
think it's been,
Don't skip years
I think nearly 25 years.
because you're only 26, so
So I'm gonna be 40 in October.
dun dun
I
dun.
know, scary, scary. And then, yeah, my first job in retail, I was 15. Yeah, working at Thornton's, the chocolate shop, when I was 15, studying for my GCSEs. That was my first job. I thought I'd made it. Thornton's. It was like a
I used
cut.
to love that store. We had one in my town, and I used to go in with my grubby little fingers. I was like, that was it, Augustus Gloop,
Yeah, yeah.
eating away.
It was a cut above back then. The
Did you get
samples,
to eat them?
ate all the samples, you know?
So did you have any left for any customers?
The ice cream. I was also scooping
yeah.
ice cream. I mean, it was like a factory outlet store, so it was like slight seconds, shop
Bit of
sort,
hair in the
bit of
sorbet.
hair, a bit of dust. But yeah, lots of samples. So in the back, they would have trays, basically huge trays with the same product in, so the same sweet. So they're like these incredible jelly spiders that I was obsessed
You
with.
just bury your face in it.
And they'd have like 100 in the box. So yeah, and then you would take those out for the clients.
One for me, one for you.
It was literally that.
I had one of my first jobs also. I had to hand out samples.
Did you?
Yeah,
Where was that?
I was a Whittards of Chelsea. You know, the like tea and coffee store.
Also kind of high end.
Yeah, really, really high.
I
I mean,
see.
my manager at the time, she used to tell me, I really need you to take 20 little, they were like shot glasses of hot chocolate out, and you need to get rid of them, and then you can come back until you can come back in.
Hell.
Freezing winter. I'm out
How
here.
old are you?
16. I got this job. My mum and dad were really encouraging that I go out and work.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I really want to do that. Until I got to this place. And I would go outside. And
That
it
was
used
like-
to take hours because I was from a small town. I mean, every 10 minutes, one person would walk past. I
Yeah.
got 30 tiny shot glasses of hot chocolate. I honestly, it was like a weekend in Ibiza the way I was knocking them back just to get back inside the store.
Anything like that was my idea of hell. You know, it's like if they would ask me to go outside to hold a sample tray, I could feel my face like burning.
No,
like,
the
with
worst
embarrassment.
thing what I always thought was, at least I'm not wearing a costume or a sandwich board. I thought that would be too
You
far
know
from
that
me.
you really hit the skidders if you're in a sandwich board or a golf sale
Yeah,
on Oxford Street.
Yeah, exactly. Or you're one of those, like I see in America there, those people that spin signs on the side of the road. Although that looks quite fun.
It does. It does. What about the inflatable
Yeah.
sign?
No, that's not a person.
Oh, isn't it?
That's just an inflatable. That's not a role. I know you're looking for more.
But Whittard, I don't remember the hot chocolate, but I do remember the iced tea. I used to go in for the iced tea
yeah, I used to
sample.
knock that back.
So I used to live in Somerset, and we had like a discount village called Clark's Village, Clark's Shoes,
Yeah.
and they had a Whittard, and I distinctly remember the iced tea samples.
Those are probably the ones that I'd tried and put back and they had to take to the discount store because I'd had it.
How long were you there?
Probably about a year because then I had my exams at school. And I
Yeah,
stopped for that.
same. So I was at Thornton's maybe, 6 or 9 months. I remember how much I was paid. I remember my hourly rate. It was £2.88 an hour.
You're joking.
I still remember because I was so horrified. I remember working like full time over the summer, full time, and getting my pay. It was like 300 quid.
You hadn't seen friends. You were socially like absent.
Yeah.
Summer gone.
No
Everyone's
life.
going. Wasn't summer fab? No.
Yeah, didn't get laid. No cider in the park. Thornton's Monday to Friday.
Through and through.
300 quid.
What was your manager like?
She was actually really cool. She used to collect me. I
Okay.
didn't even have to. She didn't touch me.
Safeguarding
She didn't.
issue already.
She didn't touch me. It's all right. She used to collect me, so I didn't even have to get the bus. She'd pick me up. I think she was called.
She was that desperate for
I think
employees.
she was called Donna. I can't remember.
Mine was called Donna.
No.
Yeah.
She was like salt of the earth. Like
Did she smoke like a chimney? Because maybe it was the same manager.
I don't think she was a smoker, but there was many a smoker at Thornton's. I don't think they washed their hands afterwards, and then they'd finger the
Chocolates again.
samples and or serve an ice cream.
Yeah, my manager, she smoked like a chimney, and she used to. We didn't get long lunches, but she seemed to take about 2 hours worth of cig breaks.
Yeah, I mean
day.
that's separate to a break. It's law, isn't it? A cigarette break.
2 hours she was out. I remember going outside the back for the first time because the shop was nice. Then you go out and it'd be literally like a cold. It's like Chernobyl out the back. I remember going outside and where she'd stood with her cigs. It was like Mount Everest of cigarettes.
Of cigarettes.
It was huge. I remember thinking that can't be good. And the irony was we worked next to a health food store.
No.
Yeah, and they sold like health supplements. And she always used she always used to complain if they ever used our toilets because she's like, you don't know what's coming out of them.
Good Lord.
As if they were the unhealthy
So
ones.
she thought because they were healthy or having regular bowel movements.
Yeah.
She probably hadn't had one in years.
She was a character for sure.
So then I went to do my A-levels in Leeds College of Art. And my mate who was at college with me, Alexis, worked at Jigsaw. It was quite cool back then.
Jigsaw
It was
was
really
cool.
cool back then. So it was like 2000. It was still the place to shop. And I was still a bit shy. She was like, we're looking for someone. And then went for it.
You thought, I've got experience. I've touched those chocolates.
I've sold these Viennese walls. I mean, what's a
my oyster.
what's a leather jacket? It's just a step up, really. If you can sell, you can sell. So I got the part-time job at Jigsaw, and loved it. Amazing.
Didn't look back.
Yeah, it was really, really cool, and had the best bosses I think I've ever had.
What kind of store was it? Like department? Was it in a shopping
No,
centre?
it was back when Jigsaw was really still like a major player on the high street. So it had like a huge store on the main street, Briggate and Leeds, like a couple of doors down from Harvey Nichols, on 2 floors. It was really, really cool. My managers were called Lisa and Michelle, and they were just amazing. I loved everything about it. You know, drinks after work. So in Leeds, there was this like bar called Fibre. It was in like the gay quarter in Leeds, and everybody that worked in retail would go there after work. Like I think from 5 p.m. it was 2-for-1 drinks. So it didn't matter.
What store you're in?
Yeah, or if you were gay or you were straight or whatever.
Okay.
Everybody was descending on this bar after work. So it's kind of it's basically just a retail crowd. So it opens up this whole social scene that was pretty wild. Yeah.
I definitely didn't have that.
Not at Whittard.
No, not a Whittard. After that, I guess I wasn't in retail, but I worked in in like a supermarket. I worked in a Starbucks in a supermarket.
Ooh. How was that? So it was a franchise then?
Yeah. It was kind of like in the Sainsbury's. I worked there for a bit.
That sounds
There was
horrendous.
still a tiny shop.
How was it?
I wasn't selling. I was just.
You're a barista.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. It's so impressive. I mostly.
How was your squirty cream action? Did you have that down on the
Yeah, that's fine. The
Frappuccinos?
Frappuccinos are fun. Honestly, I loved working there.
Those are so disgusting.
But it was really fun to work there. We made all our own drinks, like favourite recipes. Like there was the Jasmine
like
special.
off menu.
Yeah,
Love
the secret
that.
menu
A bit like
stuff.
McDonald's, you know, McDonald's secret menu.
Yeah.
So you were doing that.
Yeah,
What was
yeah,
the Jasmine special? What did it have in it?
Ice on the floor. But there were times, and you don't believe it, but honestly, the things people left on their tables after they'd had a frappuccino or whatever.
Disgusting.
Vile nappies, like dog wee soaked things,
I
Nasty
mean,
stuff. Not you in Jigsaw, probably you swanning
to
around with
their in
people.
their
And
defense, I mean, the staff were just as bad, I'm sure. I mean, when I was at Jigsaw, I remember after one pretty heavy night in this bar, going to work on Sunday, I'd had very little sleep. I think it'd been a house party in Hyde Park in Leeds. Got to work and I drank loads of water. I'm like, I've got this. I'm going to be all right. And I'm on the first floor. I'm working alone and I know I'm going to be sick, you know?
yeah.
You know when your mouth starts salivating.
Worst feeling.
Alexis, the girl who got me the job, who I went to college with, she's upstairs on her lunch. So I call on the intercom like, Lex, you're going to have to come down. I'm going to be sick. She was like, yeah, I'll be down in a minute. Then I call again. I was like, Alexis, no, you really need to come down. I'm going to be sick. I hear the staff room door opening onto the shop floor. I'm behind the cash desk vomiting into a Jigsaw carrier bag. Horrific. And then I just put the carrier bag in the bin behind the cash desk and then served clients.
That's vile. That is vile.
And then went upstairs to the staff room and kind of freshened up, and then it was all good.
You didn't even go home. Real trooper.
No, I didn't go home. I saw the day through.
That would have been a long day. I know those days where you honestly, the time ticks slower in retail, I think, than in any other thing.
Oh, God,
Time
no,
is double.
It wasn't there. It was so busy and kind of really vibey. And it was just back when retail was still, people shopped.
Buzzing.
Especially in Leeds in the north.
Yeah.
It's that vibe where people are like, what are you doing at the weekend? I'm going shopping. And they dress up and they've got their designer handbag and their glam. They're going for lunch at Harvey Nick's. They're shopping. That's their day out.
When I was younger, when I was like 14, 15, 16, that's what we used to do. Me and my friends used to go shopping. I remember there was a thing called the Clothes Show in Birmingham.
Clothes Show Live.
Yeah.
Yes.
Used to
I
go
think
there.
I watched that once. My friend ran a brand that stocked in Topshop and they did Clothes Show Live and I went to run had a store there. It was horrendous.
But that was it. That was the day out. You just go, spend loads of money on...
And
I say loads of money, like the £100 you've saved up at
and
15
you weren't waltzing around with a designer handbag. You probably had
I probably had a bin bag.
You probably had a designer carrier bag.
Yes. You know, when people would save them, I would save if someone ever gave me something from Selfridges, not that would happen, but that bag was
the big
Hollister
yellow bag.
Hollister bag I'd keep.
Waltzing into school on PE day with your PE kit in a Selfridges bag made it, quite frankly.
I'm pretty sure like no one from my school even got a Selfridges bag. The most we got was like loads of Jack Wills and Hollister.
Yeah.
Spritz to the nines with all that Hollister stuff that you thought smelled amazing, and now I look back on it.
Horrific. I think I bought probably like a handkerchief at Vivienne Westwood for like £30. Really, I just wanted the carrier bag. You know, the carrier bag got more use.
Oh yeah.
When I rocked up for rugby on a Tuesday morning, they were like, "Who's this puff?"
And when did they know you were gay? That didn't show.
So yeah, the carrier bag, is that still a thing?
No. I mean, I guess so if you've got a big brand.
I think now more so with like the rise of counterfeits as well. And it's so easy to get hold of a really good counterfeit product now. That I suppose even teenagers can have a counterfeit bag, you know?
But I saw someone the other day who had a really good fake. I mean, there's so many good fakes you wouldn't even know. And if you just put it in a real bag.
Yeah. The thing is, I mean, they're all being made in the same factories. Yeah. For sure.
Oh, 100%.
You know, and then kind of constructed elsewhere, but the components are often made in the same factories.
Yeah, definitely.
So after Jigsaw, where did I go? Then I moved on I was going to get fired. I'll be honest. I wasn't.
Did they start going through the, like disciplinary action? Or did you not let it get that far?
I think they threatened to, and then I told them that I was struggling with my mental health, which was a lie. I'd just been getting...
It was a lie then.
Not anymore. It's real.
Yeah.
I'd just been getting wrecked every weekend. And I'd started dating this guy who worked a couple of shops down.
Oh, handy.
Yeah.
I bet you'd be like, oh, we're out of something. We're out of till paper.
Till roll.
Yeah, I'm just going to go down.
Go down where? And yeah, so I was like seeing him and just partying every weekend. I was like not turning up for work. I even knew I had a shift, and I was like, I'm not going in.
But would you not go, or would you just pull a sickie? Like, what were your
Both,
excuses?
both. Sometimes I would just not rock up, or other times I'd call it. It varied.
So some days you fancied about a bit of theatre.
It
You're like,
depends.
it's my time.
So
Oscar
then
me.
they were like, I could see it was escalating. We had a 1-to-1, and then they were like, we're gonna have to go down the disciplinary route. I was like, I'm depressed.
I'm depressed because you're making me come
So
to work.
before I got pushed, I jumped ship and went 2 doors down to Harvey Nicks and was
Is
working.
that where your fella was working?
No, he was like working for like a tailoring shop 2 doors up.
Bit too high market for you.
It was all very.
You wouldn't have been able to fit in there. Would
It was
you?
all very incestuous. And then yeah, on to Harvey Nicks. What about you?
Then after Starbucks is when I got the job where we are.
Really?
Yeah.
So this is the thing. I mean, I'm what? I'm
You have
39.
to remember I'm a bit younger.
I'm 39, and you're
23.
wow. So actually, your entire career is just beginning, really.
So is yours. What
And
do you
prob-
mean?
Yeah. So I did like a 2-year stint at Harvey Nicks. What just as wild. Harvey Nichols was out of control. Like staff doing drugs in the toilets. Like it was really messy, chaotic.
Yeah.
Like people would rock up to work in their going out outfit.
Yeah, walk
on
of
the shop
shame
floor,
straight into work.
gunning.
Oh my God.
Not it was nuts. And then I went to uni, worked in a little shop there, a little independent in Wilmslow. Used to see David Beckham getting his coffee every day at Starbucks.
Is that why
You
you
weren't
did the
serving
job?
him, were you?
That was me.
Yeah, Wilmslow is like, Alderley Edge. Wilmslow is like where all the footballers, like Ronaldo
Yeah,
used to
yeah,
come in
yeah.
and buy tops and stuff from us. And then after that, on to office shoots. I've done high-low.
Yeah.
High-low. That was a
Office
low
was that
point.
a lot of feet play there. But did you enjoy doing it? Did you have to do that nice thing where they feel your foot and measure it and they
No,
get the
there was
tape?
no
Oh,
measuring.
I like
There
that
was
in
no
Clarks.
feeling. It's not Clarks.
No, but
would
you know what I mean. You just hand them the bag.
You'd hand them the shoes and just walk away.
Right.
And then after that, was when I moved to London. So 2005, I think. And then was working, kind of moved into luxury then, was working on Sloane Street, managing a famous footwear
That
store.
rhymes with.
No, I mean, I can say I was managing Patrick Cox.
Yeah.
So it's still like it was on the back of Wannabe, of that kind of whole 90s.
loafers.
Yeah, it was absolutely huge. And he's a great guy. A lot of fun. Again, a lot of partying. And then I was there until the business closed and Patrick decided to kind of focus on other things. So that was an amazing time.
That's a cool one. That's like you're
Yeah.
more involved, I guess, then with the company.
Yeah, I mean, in the 90s was at its peak, but it was still kind of that kind of Britpop, and London was still so vibey, and it was like so much fun, and lots of celebs coming through the door, and yeah, really, really good times.
Yeah.
And then on from Patrick Cox, God, I was like managing a vintage store in Manchester.
Oh, so you went back up.
I went back up for a short time, not long. I think about 18 months.
Yeah.
Was doing buying for them, like traveling all over Europe and a lot around the States, buying vintage clothing.
Mm-hmm.
Many a hangover. Going to trade shows, like
Tell us, give us a bit of a secret on vintage clothing, because it's so big now.
it's massive.
Where's the majority of it coming from, would you say?
So in the States, the majority is coming from so it's huge vintage mills. So they supply all over the world used clothing, predominantly to like Africa's a huge importer of secondhand clothing.
Yeah.
That's their main trade. And then on the side, they have a vintage department. But all of the clothes come from overstock from charity shops Or, when you go to do your recycling and there's the recycling bin for clothing.
Yeah.
So people often think those are going to charity, but actually they're not. They're going to used fabric mills, and then they're sorting that, and then
pick
they're
out the stuff
selling the
that you
vintage
think's
pieces to clients all over the world.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was there, and then on to Selfridges. I was managing a luxury footwear store in Selfridges. Got an interesting coloured sole on the shoes.
That be red by any chance?
Potentially. That was horrendous. So I was there for a really short period. Was not a fan. They called Selfridges a yellow prison for a reason. It wasn't the brand. It's just so intense working there.
I imagine. And also, what I hear from department stores is people just most of the time looking for the toilet.
Literally, from kind of getting onto your concession or getting onto your department to going on your lunch and getting out of the building is like 20 minutes. So that's 20 minutes of your lunch. You're going through security, getting out of the building. It's just a lot. And then at Christmas, some, clever person at the top decided to increase the opening hours to 11 p.m. at night. No. So we're like getting home at like 12:30, 1 a.m. I think most people can do a year to 18 months there and then they're done. Like every day you'd hear about like relationships crumbling. These solid married couples, one of them would get a job at Selfridges within 6 months.
Divorced.
The marriage is over, and they're in rehab. It's that intense.
Tough. Yeah, I think that's the difference, isn't it? That's what now we have these huge places like shopping centres, that have every single store in. Actually, when you work in that environment, it's like a cooking pot for everyone in retail.
Yeah, and it's you're dealing with clients constantly,
Yeah.
And usually if a client is seeking out a member of staff, it's not for a good reason. Let's be honest. They're not seeking you out for a chat and a catch up. So
is it because they soiled themselves walking through the store?
They may have soiled themselves.
And they're looking for a bath.
Intentionally in a fitting room. That happened more than once when I was at Harvey Nichols. And obviously couldn't find any toilet rolls, so we're wiping their bum with the fitting room curtain.
With the £3,000 designer dress.
Or a used tampon in the corner of the fitting room. That was the norm.
Yeah.
Part of the job. So yeah, it was at Selfridges and then back kind of a few stints elsewhere, like a few kind of short periods here and there. Mm-hmm. And then thought, I'm done with retail and I'm going back to uni. So I went to Manchester first time round, dropped out in the second year. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I went back to retail. But this time round...
But had you gone to uni before this?
Yeah. And then this time round, I was like, I'm really done. So... I went back to uni at 35 to study politics with a plan. This was my plan to get out of retail. And you started in the same year.
It was the year before COVID. Like I had a few months, COVID hit. I had a year sort of online. That was it. And then when I came back to London, because I went home obviously to save money. And then I got a job in retail where we met.
I think that's the thing, so many people that work in retail are students trying to support themselves. It's so expensive studying now, particularly with even more so the cost of living crisis. Like rents have gone up so much that it's just impossible to study and do a degree with the living loan that they provide. It's an impossibility. So many people are working in retail or working in bars or hospitality, in restaurants just to try and keep a roof over their head.
Literally. And I also think that, London's always been known to be expensive. It's, when I moved down here, I knew I'd have to have a job. I just would have to.
Any job.
Yeah, literally anything. And the amount I applied for, you have to be really privileged to not work at uni. It's so expensive.
Yeah.
The loan covers, a little bit of it.
Yeah.
But to actually live, and you know when they say to have the university experience, to hang out with your friends, go for drinks, to really experience the city.
I think that's the thing. So where we both work now, you were at do you remind me? You were at St. Martin's. We had another colleague we worked with was at St. Martin's. Someone else was at Georgetown in Washington, D.C. I went to Cambridge. Like, really, people doing really interesting degrees,
Yeah,
all on the shop floor,
all together.
all together, all having a crazy time.
Yeah, exactly. Because you just use any commission for drinks. That'd be it.
It's
Yeah,
so
what's the commission? Commission is usually really small, like 1%.
1%. I mean, in a good
In a good
shop,
shop.
2-3%.
Yeah.
But yeah, 1%'s kind of standard. So
Yeah.
if you're selling
Few
something for
beers.
600 quid, it's six. That's a beer, 6
Yeah.
quid.
There you go.
Boom.
Perfect.
Retail's not so bad after all.